Hello. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Around the Table. I am your vision coach, Alicia, and as every Friday night, I get excited when I can come and sit around the table with you. I don't know what's happening tonight, but my YouTube is not picking up tonight. Not happy about that. But we are going to press on. Let me just double check one thing over here. Let me check on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. Come on in. Share out. If this is your first time with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited that you decided to come and sit around the table tonight with me. I'm excited because I have someone really special with me tonight. And guess what? I rebuke every technical difficulty tonight. So you may not be able to catch me on YouTube tonight, which means you're not going to see me on my business page. But here we are. Listen, I am excited. Fridays is always a day that I look forward to. I don't plan anything else at this time but to come and sit with you. Again, I am your vision coach, Alicia, and I help women to overcome and get started in their businesses. Start, S-T-A-R-T, means simply take another risk today. We take risk about so many things in our lives, and when it comes to getting started on the things that are important to us, we kind of just procrastinate, slow down, and don't move like we should. But I'm here to provoke you tonight because my guest tonight, I am telling you, she provokes you. I met this woman a while ago, and she became my coach in a session that I took, and it just spearheaded me and pushed me to keep on moving. So tonight, listen, tell a friend, come on, share, to tell a friend that Around the Table is on. This is a place for authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, and small business owners. And so tonight on my platform, I'm going to bring my guest up and have her join us tonight. Coach Dr. Tashana Richardson. Here she is. Hi there.
Hello there. I am wonderful. And yourself?
I am doing super duper.
Awesome.
And I'm even more I'm better now that you're on the screen with me. I'm not here alone. So listen, I wanted to bring you on because it's been a while since we caught up and chatted or had any communication. So I figured tonight would be a good time to dip in. You're in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
say that?
Something like
Okay.
that.
Well,
Yes.
listen, I just returned about a month ago from the US Virgin Islands where I was for the last 2 years. So
Wow.
I'm back in California and I'm excited about all the possibilities of what God is going to do in my life. And so I want to catch up with people who I know are movers and shakers and doing what they do best. So listen, would you tell our audience tonight a little bit about you and who you are?
Yes, absolutely. But first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for our connection. When you utilize social media for the right reasons, you find amazing people like yourself. And even though we've never met in person, we've had kindred spirits. And so I am thankful for this blue app that we were able to connect and we are still here. How many years later? 2 or 3 years later?
Three.
3 years
Three.
later.
Yeah, I have been gone 2 years and I connected with you the year before I left for the Virgin Islands. So it's been 3 years. The
Oh,
last thing we connected on, you were getting ready to have this yacht event in
yeah.
Florida. And I
Yeah.
was going to come and it didn't work out. And that's the last time I've spoken with you, coach.
Wow.
But I was at my lowest point at one point when I wasn't sure of what I was doing. And you were offering a course, and I decided to invest. It was so inexpensive. You made it so affordable, and I think it started with about 30 of us on there. And each day, as you took us through steps, what to do, and I started to feel my breath coming back, my strength coming back in me. And I started to feel you can do this. Don't give up. Don't quit. Because I had someone like you at the helm pushing me forward. And when I saw the other women engaging as well, I was like, you're the oldest one in this group. But I was like, feeding off of the energy of the younger ones. And by the time I was finished, my entire thought process in what I was doing in my coaching business had shifted. And for that, it's people like you that I never forget. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on this show tonight, because I saw that you're doing some exciting things and I want you to share. But before we move forward, I know that you have a background. I don't know how far back that you want to go, but I want you to just tell the people a little bit about your background story. Maybe I don't know about your MLM days or whatever, where you want to go, but that's when I first saw you on social media. And so let's catch up. Let's
Let's
talk.
catch up. So let's see, where do I want to begin? Let's just put it out there. I am originally from North Carolina, Rocky Mount to be exact. I moved to Georgia in 2016, but a few years prior to that, in 2012, I lost my sixth child. And I'm the mother of six beautiful children, but my sixth baby passed away. He was a few days shy of being 6 months. And I want to say that's when life took a complete shift for me. Um, it was at that moment I had no idea what I needed to do, what I wanted to do. And so for 3 years, Dr. George, I contemplated life. And so, I had came to the end of myself. I asked God to take me out of here, my sleep. I pleaded with him, like, listen,
Mhm.
if this is what life looks like after my son has passed away, then this is definitely not the life that I want for myself. I had made up in my mind that somebody else would take care of my children. And you've come to a low place when you've already sorted out what would happen
Yes.
if you're gone. And so, thanks be unto God, I'm still here. And with that, I had to change my posture of prayer. Instead of asking God and telling God what to do, I said, okay, God, why do you have me here? What is my purpose? And like that song said, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And so he didn't give me a direct answer right away, but I changed my posture. I began to be in a posture of expectation, you know.
Yes.
So maybe 5 or 6 months later, that prayer that I prayed prior, it started to come to pass. I met someone on social media, and she watched me from afar and said, hey, I can't take it anymore. I want to help you. And that's how my network marketing days started. She saw something in me, one that I didn't see in myself, and the people that were immediately in close proximity around me didn't see either. And so I had created this amazing organization called I Am Beautiful, the movement. At
Mhm.
that time, we reached a high of 87,000 women. And
In your
everybody
group?
in the group, and I mean, in 30 days we had 30,000 people in the group. And so the group was birthed from the loss of my son. And I
Mhm.
needed help. I needed to be in a space. I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. I just created a space. And I had a few people say, hey, Tashana, don't do this. You're hurt, and hurt people hurt people. But I said, no, God told me to do this. He said, go and go now. And so, as you see in the group, it's called I Am Beautiful and dot, dot, dot. That's God still talking to me. And it was a movement before it was one. And so when I created that name, he already knew what was about to take place. I just had to be obedient and trust the process. And so my first couple days, there were thousands of women in there sharing their testimony, sharing what the Lord had done for them. And then I had some that was just stuck, and they needed to read the other testimonies of these amazing women in the group. So it was a collaboration of women from all over the world just sharing and just being in that space. And so that's how I met Renee Toppin in the group. And when she introduced me to a business, I was a hairstylist. I was a hairstylist for, at that time,
Mm.
almost 13 years. And so
Okay.
I just figured that was going to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life. Hence why I didn't feel like I was able to do anything, because I didn't graduate from high school. So I found something that I love with my hands, and this will be my portion. But at the end of the day, working in a salon that's doing $10 roller sets and 30 and $10 doobies, and I'm taking 50% of that home, even though I look busy, my pockets were empty, and I had
Come on.
and so I knew it was greater, but I just didn't know how. I didn't know how. I always spoke life into myself. And, even today, I have people come back and say, I knew you was going to do something great. But I met Renee Toppin in a group. She said, listen, I see you. Those three words, I see you.
You
And
know what?
mhm,
In the network that I am a part of, we have this big saying that is, it's the strangers for me.
it's
Go
the
ahead.
she was all the way in Philadelphia. I'm all the way in North Carolina, but because of social media being used for the right reasons, um,
Yes.
I went to her inbox and I was like, okay, I see you too, but we don't have any mutual friends. And at that time, Facebook, we didn't really know all of the logistics about mutual friends. And if somebody was on your page or no mutual friends, maybe somebody's coming to be nosy, or,
Yes.
who sent you type thing. But that was the ram in the bush that God sent for me. That was that life jacket that I had prayed for 6 months ago. And I reached back out to her after I read her inbox message. We had a conversation. I said, listen, give me one day. I'm supposed to begin the deposit. And what they needed for me to start their business is all I had plus $1. All I
Wow.
plus $1. And
Wow.
when I seen that deposit come through, it just happened to be my ex's birthday. And now that's another story. Y'all got to get my book. There's a significance around May 13th.
Okay.
And
Okay.
started that business with, at the time, I was like, dang, this is all I got. And God said, no, this is not all you have. I want you to give your all. This is not your all, but I want you to give your all. And we have to be careful in how we sow in seeds, into ourselves, because if we don't speak life over it, you can't reap that harvest. Something's going to happen, but is it going to be a great harvest, or is going to be a lack thereof? And
Come
so I
on.
spoke life over my seed. And in my first 7 days, doctor, I earned $1,000 bonus. Listen, I went right back to the salon. I said, listen, you can write me out my check because I'm about to go. I gave everything away, and people thought I was crazy. They said, oh my God, you're leaving. How do you know if this is going to work? That seed, that mustard seed of faith, I had
Yes.
I had it. I've
Yes.
been waiting to utilize that mustard seed of faith.
Come on.
He wrote my last check out of $134. I touched that check. I said, this is the smallest I would ever be. The smallest. And I held on to that check for a good little while. The second week, another $1,000 bonus. Third week, $2,000 bonus. In 84 days, I had earned my very first $50,000. Well, I was the very first person to do it. Earn a $50,000 bonus in 84 days.
Hold up. Don't just run over that. Hold up. You became a part of this organization.
Yes.
And in how many days?
84 days.
You made 50.
I had earned more, but that was a bonus. That was a bonus.
And this was when people did not even really realize what MLMs were really all about, because certainly you didn't know. But God knew that you needed a lifeline, and he sent it to you. But look at this. The first week, you got 1,000. The second week, you got another 1,000. You gave up everything because you knew there was something greater out there. And that is what we have to learn to do as people of God, people, women in business, whatever, take a risk. That's why you heard me say my preface on coaching is the word start. START. Simply take another risk today. Yes, that start. Simply take another risk today, because we take risk on so many other things in life, but we don't take risk on ourselves. Keep going. I love this story.
So that literally changed my entire life. So in between me earning that, I was homeless. I was in a hotel.
Come on.
Actually, let me take you back. When I started the business, I was with an ex. I got put out, had to go stay with a pastor friend of mine, start making money, put me and my kids in a hotel because I was in the travel business and I could book my hotel and I could go anywhere I wanted to go. And so I just told the kids it's like a little mini vacation. And so between August and December of 2016, we were in a hotel. December the 16th, 2016, I met a young lady named Jennifer Houston that was in the business. She just happened to be a realtor. We were in Naples, Florida. They had us sitting in a round table. See, it matters who you connected to, you know. And so
it matters.
Like God to have me sitting beside somebody that could help me. And when we were going around sharing who we were, everybody said, well, we know who you are, Tashana. We know exactly who you are. And I said, well, listen. And I just almost paused. And it was like God pushed me in my back and just say, you better speak up. I was like, okay, so when I leave here, I know I missed 50K while I'm in front of you guys. When I leave here, I got to go back to the hotel because me and my kids don't have anywhere to stay.
Wow.
And she said, a few days. And I promise you, give me a few days, you're going to be coming up out of that hotel. It was like in 24 hours, she called me back and she said, do you want to move to Georgia? I said, I'll move to Kalamazoo, Michigan. She said, listen, I have a place for you. Do you want to see it? I said, no, I do not. Where do I pay? Who do I pay? How much do I need? And that's exactly how it all went. And so when December 16th, we got up. That was the last day I stayed at the extended stay of America to this day. we packed up. I left everything and completely started all the way over. Drove to Villa Rica, Georgia. She and her mom met me there, and the lights were on. It was warm in there. The first question I asked was, where's Walmart? She said, right around the corner. Went around the corner, bought some comforters, some pillows, came back. She had a brand new refrigerator delivered the next day, and the rest has been totally history.
That is awesome. But see, the thing is, God made the provision for you to be able to do that. What if you didn't have the money to go to Walmart? What if you didn't? So I understand. Listen, so that is your backdrop. The 50K girl sitting homeless with 5 kids, correct?
5 children.
5 kids. But you had enough faith in Tashana And that's what we have to understand, that it does not matter when you are at, that's what I'm telling you. When I took your class, that's where I was. Like, please, just leave me alone. I'm in my 60s. I'm retired. Um, Social Security coming in. Let me figure out how to live on this. But I knew that was not the end for me. And I
Mm,
thank God for the lifeline that you threw me. The class was a 30-day class.
30 days.
Let me stop because I'm getting into that place. Anyway, so here we are. Let's talk about a couple of other facets before we get into the meat of where I want to go with this. I know that you're an author.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your book or books and what you're doing now with your writing.
Well, my first book was inspired by my trip to Costa Rica. I was able to zip line these 9 lines over this beautiful tropical forest. I've never seen green that green in my life, in real life. And so every line was completely different. Like it was a different scream, a different thrill, like Tarzan sliding down the slide. And it's just like, okay, Tashana, once you start, you can't stop. And so we had this little class in the beginning, and they wrap this, give you this harness belt, and then you have all of these chains connected to you. You have on this hard hat, and you need to pay attention because they're only going over it one time. And so it's like at the beginning, they hook you up to one line, and then when you get done, they unhook that. You've survived it, and now here comes something else. And so all of that was playing in my head. It's like as soon as I go one step further, it seemed like here comes something else. And so that ninth line, I thought it was going to be the easiest line because it was the last line. But the ninth line was one of the hardest lines because I had to climb up on the side of this mountain. And then he's standing there waiting for me to pull up. I'm like reaching my hand up, like help and pull me on up. But he was like, no, you can do it. You can do it. Go ahead and finish strong. And that blessed me so much to the point where he took off that last chain. I felt free. I felt rejuvenated. I felt like I just felt like a brand new person, and I just dropped to my knees. And when I dropped to my knees, all I could think about all the things I had gone through in life, and every line represented that hard, but I got through it.
Ooh,
And so
ooh,
that's how my first book, The 9 Lines, was inspired by my trip to Costa Rica. So that book came out in 2019. Yep.
uh-huh.
And
Okay.
then I did an anthology, um, Soul Cries, with other women, and they're telling their testimony. I did an I Am Beautiful journal. My latest project was Survivors Inc. With a few ladies, and we shared our testimony about being in domestic violent relationships, toxic relationships, and how we endured the things that we thought we would never been able to get through. And so that was my latest project back in September of last year.
I know, I feel you. That's why I am right now with my book, Healing from Emotional Enemies, was
Mm-hmm.
also birthed out of domestic violence and being in a toxic relationship that caused me so much trauma. And it simply happened because I kept taking notes for about 3 years. And when I got divorced, I had all these notes sitting there. And I said, these notes are valuable, not only for me, for someone else. And so that's when I wrote Healing from Emotional Enemies, which now has really been a lifesaver to many women. So I understand. Listen, let's jump over to these comments. Let's
Oh,
see who's joined us tonight. I'm Michelle Bonner. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Love that you didn't listen to people following God's direction.
oh, thank
She
you.
is saying that to you. And Siobhan Booker, come
Yeah.
on, Dr. T. She's speaking to you. And I see my coach, my leaders on here. Dr. Nikki, she's saying hi to me tonight. Hi, Dr. Nikki. And I mess up people name. So this person's name, she's just commenting to talk about it. It's so important for us to share and be authentic with
Yeah.
what we share, because we just never know who needs what we have to say based on what we may have experienced. And sometimes people walk around trying to be so private. You don't have to tell everything, But you got to tell something, because your purpose and the plan and the purpose that God has for your life is so that someone else
That's
can
right.
benefit from your experience and what you've gone through. And so this evening, I'm just so excited that you are able to share these things with us. So, where are your books? Where can people find your books?
You can find all of my books on Amazon. You can find them on Amazon, or you can come straight to me and order directly from me. So Amazon or me.
Okay. Order from you where? On your
I have a separate site just for my books, and so it's on a different site, and so I don't want to just give out the whole site and
site.
everything stuff. So
Right.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
That's fine. Listen, so let's go here, because this is when I really plugged into you, when you were doing something with I Am Beautiful movement, and it was an awesome venture and idea, but it got stalled for reasons, and we're not going to go into that. But just tell the people what I Am Beautiful movement is really all about, the movement.
So I Am Beautiful, the movement was founded and also birthed through the loss of my son in 2015. And so originally it was a self-help group for just women to just share their innermost thoughts, their triumphs, their tragedies, and we just all came together. And so now it's a resource center for the everyday woman, any woman from anywhere, all types of background, to just come in to be celebrated. We have never had any type of drama for the 9 years that we have been in existence, almost 10 years in December. No drama. Just a self-help place, a good place to be on social media. Today we have over 80,000 women in this organization. We host events, sometimes one time a year, sometimes twice a year. So you've probably
Mhm.
seen I Fought for Her. You've probably seen the Dorothy Experience.
Yes, yes.
So we do a lot of events, and we meet up all over the world. So there's a chapter somewhere. Probably now we probably have about 15 chapters left. And North Carolina, we had a chapter in South Korea, and so many places. There's somebody represented in the group from everywhere. And so what I do is shine the light on other people in that organization, even though God blessed me with the vision, but that group is literally for me to shine the light on other women.
So it's an international, global
Oh yeah.
vision. Awesome. Are you do you have anything coming up right now for I Am Beautiful movement? Is there anything on the horizon?
Well, what I'm doing this year with I Am Beautiful is just celebrate other people. So what I did was just allow people to post or share whatever events they have, and we're just going to rally up people to support people wherever they are in the world. As far as myself, I'm not sure if you're ready to talk about it, but God told me to clear my calendar, and so when I cleared my calendar, I was able to found my own online Christian university, Anchorway Christian University. So that's
So
what I'm.
go right ahead. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I was able to obtain my honorary doctorate degree last October through Viridian Christian University, through Dr. T and Dr. Nike. And through this collaboration, I was able to meet Dr. Huey Abraham. And he said, "Hey, Tashana, listen, you have a beautiful organization. I think this would be something that you could do." And I was like, "No, let me, I Am Beautiful, stay focused." God said, "Clear your calendar." And I was like, "Okay, you don't have to tell me twice. Okay, I got it." And so with that connection, I was able to work on this Christian university for about 3 months, and we launched February the 7th. And my very first ceremony will be July the 12th in Georgia this year. So we're going to have almost 40 graduates that will be walking across the stage, adding doctor to their name for the work they've already done and lives they already touched.
Wow, I understand the feeling of that, because I did that 2 years ago, and it was one of the best experiences in my life. That my leader, Dr. Nikki Ziegler, and mine was in Destin, Florida. I mean, just in this beautiful surrounding. I was so honored, and so I know the work that people do that go unheard of. They're never celebrated for it. They're never honored for it. But with doors like yours Anchor Way Christian University that allow, and how many people you said? 40?
As of right now, we have a little over 30 with more inquiries coming through. And so I'm going to say 40, but if God blesses with more, then hey, I'll take it.
And where is it going to be?
It's going to be in Roswell, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
July the 12th at Doubletree by Hilton.
Okay. You're still moving.
I am still moving.
You are still moving and making it happen and getting things done. But in the midst of it, you're taking others along with you. You're such a giver.
I
You're
am.
such a giver. And that's what I loved about you when I first got to know you, that you're such a giver. Because as I said, I couldn't believe how much you were charging for the class. So I was like, and so, it made a difference in my life. But as women, when we are entrepreneurs, when we are building, there are times in our lives that we go through things. You said that God told you to clear your calendar.
Clear it.
When that happened, was it at a point in um your life when you really needed to pivot and do something different, or you were okay with where you were?
No, I should have done it a long time ago. And you have to be careful being a giver, because giving too much of yourself and not allowing God to pour back into you, you can clash. And so I knew it, but I didn't do it. And so we know now obedience is better than sacrifice. So when I got that assignment, clear your calendar. And, I just felt like I needed to have something on the books. Like, I needed to have another event. They need to know what to do next. I've been the navigator for almost 10 years. And God said, clear your calendar. Let me do this for you. And so when I stopped and, just being in a place of being still, I was able to hear. And then that's how I was able to meet Dr. Yui and Dr. Tia. And now my only focus is Anchor Way Christian University. I have a few other things going on, some other fun things that I have with some amazing ladies. But my main focus is on this Christian University.
Amen. Listen, this is Around the Table, and I am your host, Dr. Apostle Alicia George. And this is a place where you can come and sit with me around the table if you'd like to. Are you an author? Are you a coach? Are you a small business owner or entrepreneur? We're booking for next month, and I'd like to invite you to come on and sit at this table with me and have a conversation, just as me and Dr. Tashana is having. You never know where this may go and how you may impact someone's life. So let's just look in the comments one more time. Let me see what's going on over here. Ooh, hey, Noreen, good evening. Simone, I see you up in here. This is our other bad sister. She does a lot of writing. Oh, I love this name. Her name is September.
Yeah, hey, September.
September, hey, that's my birth month. Come on. Yours too?
Yes.
Okay. I'm the 22nd.
I'm the 27th.
Oh my goodness. Okay. See, we have a whole lot in common. So listen, let's see. They're saying hello. Blessings. Tashana, you are so inspiring. Yes, she is. That's why she's on the show. So listen, what I want to ask you next is this. Now that you are in this space, and you have the Christian University, it's up and running, you're getting ready to do your first graduation. How do you go about working with the people that you have in your program?
How do I go about working with them?
Yes. How do you invite them into your program? Because I want you to invite someone that may be interested in seeing what you have going on. How do they get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So there's a world full of superstars that we don't even know about. They're behind the scenes. They're making it happen for other people. I want to utilize my university to bring those people to the forefront. So you can go to anchorwaychristianuniversity.org and you will see on the dashboard, it will say more. Drop down. There will be a tab that says honorary degrees. You can nominate yourself, or you can nominate someone that you think is deserving of this prestigious honor. So go to the website, click on more, drop down to honorary degrees, nominate yourself or nominate someone else.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to go ask you this question.
Yes.
Um let me ask you it like this. What do you believe that God is saying to you right now for your life personally? What is it? Is he really saying what you're doing? You are living in purpose. You are walking this out. You're helping other women. But is there something that God is saying to you personally that he wants you to fulfill for your life? Because for me, I had been a pastor for years. I've gone through some transition. And one of the things that I said to Shauna, I'm not ever pastoring again or opening up a church. And I'm really not. But God has been drawing me to use my experience with my voice, my mouth, to do more preaching. And so, because of that, I made a decision a few weeks ago. Okay, God, I'm going to do what you say to do. And I just threw it out there. My it's called AMG Ministries, my initials. And I've had the logo set aside for at least 2 years. And God said, just go grab your logo and listen. And I did. And I called up three women and I said to them, this is what I'm thinking. And they said, you're hearing God. And so when they said yes to what I am about to do, I know that I am going into the next phase of my life to do what God has called me to do. So my question to you is simply, what's next? What is it do you think is next for you um in this walk that you've taken, the movement?
I have no idea what's next. What I do know is what's right now, and that I'm being obedient and allowing God to navigate me on this journey. I've been a fast walker for a long time, and so this is a year that He said for me that it's all gonna make sense, and so I'm just standing on that. To be honest.
Okay. I'm going to give you a few minutes to just speak to our listening audience tonight. Listen, it's Friday night. And you know what that means. It's time to sit around the table. So pull up your seat, come close, and listen to what is being said. And guess what? You can be in the seat next week. Just go to our website and book, and you can be right here where she is. We're getting ready to expand and enlarge next month. God has been good to us. He's been speaking to us about where we're going with this podcast, with this show. And so, in that, I'm being obedient also, and we're going to expand because God said, just like tonight, I could be all frustrated because it's not going out on my YouTube like it usually do. It's just doing what it does. But this is the one thing that I understand, Tashana, that if I am in the will of God and doing what God says to do, He'll take care of everything. And certainly you have been through a whole lot, but you have come through and you're here. We have a topic right now in the network that I belong to. It's called the Herpreneur Network. As a matter of fact, we're celebrating 5 years of this network. 5 years. This all of this month we've been celebrating all of this month. They even had a Apostle Alicia George Day. I was just floored, you know. And then on this week, I got the honor of being the herpreneur of the year. Why am I saying all of this? We cannot be attached to things just to be attached.
That's
We
right.
have to be. We have to be doing the will of God and in the right places where He's assigned us to be. And for 5 years, I've been in this network. For 5 years, I know that this season of my life is where God has placed me to be. So as I move forward, as I do things from day to day in this network, our topic this week is He is she and she is me. I may be messing it up a little bit because I'm you and you or me. And it's time for us to learn how to celebrate, how to collaborate, how to really work with each other. You said your group, as large as it is, have not had any drama. And when we understand that that's how we're supposed to function and operate as the body of Christ, then it spills over into our everyday life and what we do. I'm going to say this last thing. My leader says to us all the time, we work for God full time. There's no part time in working for God, no matter what it is we're doing. When I'm coaching, I'm working for God.
Mhm.
When I am doing the things for ministry, I'm working for God. So we are working for God full time. So I want to come off the screen for just a few minutes and put you on the spot for about 2 minutes. And yeah, I love doing that. And allow you to share your heart to the viewers this evening. I'm going to come off for just a minute, 2 minutes, and just share your heart. Amen. Is
Amen.
that okay?
Amen. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Dr. George, for allowing me to be in this space. Um, as much as it seems like I'm a big talker, I'm really not. And so, what I would say is to stay encouraged. The enemy is at an all-time high. We know he comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but God has dominion and power over all things. And so, even as I sit here, some know, some don't know that I'm in a storm right now, but I know on the other side of this storm, there's a beautiful testimony waiting to happen. And so, as Dr. George was saying, this is the year that clarity meets collaboration. This is the year where it all makes sense. This is the year where God promises for your life will be that yes, and it is so, and it is amen. And so I just want you to allow God to continue to navigate your path. There are a lot of things that's going on. There are a lot of distractions that are happening right now, but I just need you to stay the course, because on the other side of this, there's a beautiful, beautiful testimony waiting to happen. And so thank you so much for allowing me to be in your space. Dr. George, there are so many people that I would love to help and be a part of your missions. If there's anything that I can do to help you along the way, because that's what it's all about. It's not about the destination. It's about the people that you pick up along the way. I'm that person. I'm your liaison to your next. Don't hesitate to reach out and reach up, because to the top we all need to be, because the bottom is way too crowded. Thank you, and back to you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Tashana, for being with us this evening. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I Am Beautiful Movement and Anchorway Christian University, Dr. Tashana Richardson was our guest. And as we leave, I want you to remember this. Everything that you make up your mind to do, you must first put faith to your feet so that you could get to that place. And so until next week, uh, like my cousin Lorraine always says, have a great day today and a better one tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of Around the Table. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.